Welcome to the 1905 podcast. Joe and I have been going to Stamford Bridge for over 30 years. Each week, this podcast will take you inside our unfiltered thoughts on all things Chelsea, sharing our view from Gate 13 of the Matthew Harding stand. Let's hit the notes. In this episode, we celebrate Madueke's Molineux magic act that gave Maresca his first Premier League win. We praise the gifts from God that is Cole Palmer and look forward to a second leg at Servette in Switzerland. Let's start with our live reactions to that win in Nonny's beloved Wolverhampton.
So just seen the announced team, and obviously noticeable absentee is Lavia. I thought he would make a start, but the team looks pretty strong. Again, Chelsea's team on paper always looks pretty strong, I would say. The only slight, not concern, but you sort of get a little bit jittery about is Mudryk out there on the left. He can be so hit and miss, can't he? So in and out the game. He doesn't fill me with that confidence that a player of £60 million should. You know, when Neto came on last week, or dare I say, even when Sterling plays, you sort of feel like, okay, well, it should be okay today. But Mudryk was filled with the dread. So fingers crossed he could put a few doubters wrong today, including myself. So yeah, team overall looks good. Hopefully, beyond any doubt, that we can get the win today, because I am nervous.
Yeah, I'm nervous as well, to be fair. It feels like a big game. I know we said it in the preview, but it really feels like a big and important game for us. So yeah, line-up is, again, it's very strong on paper, and the big one for me is the bench. So many times last season, because of the injuries that we had, you looked at the bench and it was often full of kids, 2 goalkeepers on the bench every week. It was a bit of a running joke, wasn't it? But you look at that today, and you know, if we do need a goal, you've got Nkunku, Neto, João Felix all on the bench. But yeah, big game. Come on, Chelsea.
First Chelsea corner, sent in by Palmer. It's a decent delivery to the back post. And what a start for Chelsea! What a start for Jackson!
Gets in, what a start. Started really brightly, haven't we? Madueke did really well to win the corner, and is that the new set-piece coach working his magic? Love it. Come on, Chelsea.
Boy, oh boy, do we need that for our first goal, my word. That's calm my nerves.
All lovely feet. Mike Norrie putting it through. Lovely goal for Wolves.
We're just losing the ball in the middle time and time again. We need to move it faster. Again, Casado gets robbed. They've broken us. Enzo's slightly out of position. Obviously not his fault, but by not having the extra midfield player in the middle, it's leaving us a little bit sparse there. And obviously, they both tried to get back to make a tackle, but they've sort of followed the same person. The ball's gone wide, and obviously they've smashed it in. So, yeah, we need to kind of get a grip of this at the moment. The midfield is definitely being overrun. I'd say Palmer's been pretty non-existent in the first half for me there, but what a fantastic back heel from Madueke. That was absolutely superb. Obviously, Nonny, every time he's got the ball, he looks so dangerous.
Wolves might be caught out here. Palmer! It's class! Chelsea taking advantage on the break, and Cole Palmer, perfect.
He's just unbelievable, isn't he? I've missed him. I've actually missed him all summer. What a player.
Gets it. What a goal that is. Unbelievable. So good. What a ball from Sanchez. The little flick round the corner from Jackson. And that finish is just unbelievable. We do not deserve it. Wolves have pretty much given us the real run around here in this first half. My God, but did we need that? Fantastic.
Oh, the marking. We can't defend set pieces, can we? Fuck's sake.
It's just little foul. You've got Madueke doing it, Gusto's doing it, Jackson's doing it. These little niggly fouls. It's going absolutely nowhere. Just leave the guy alone. And obviously, a bit like United goal yesterday against Brighton, that ball gets clipped in at the back post. Literally, every Chelsea player is drawn towards the ball. Every single one of them. Rafana hangs out some sort of random leg, and there's 3 Wolves players queuing up at the back post. I mean, it's really poor. To be fair, Wolves deserve it. They do deserve it, but Chelsea should be going in ahead.
Yeah, half-time, as you say, I think probably about right, isn't it? Definitely don't deserve to be ahead at half-time, and I I'd be interested to see what he does at half time. We said it before the game about Mudryk, and he's basically done a Mudryk, isn't he? He's kind of had a classic Mudryk performance. It's almost like playing with it. Do you ever thinking it's almost like playing with an academy player where you're like, oh, he's done a couple of nice little things, and you kind of take the positives from that. But he's a £60 million player who's been at the club for 18 months, and you're always kind of almost apologising for him. And it's almost like playing with 10 men, if I'm being honest. So I would be wanting to see Mudryk, unfortunately, make a tough call on him. There's so many options. Bring on João Felix, Neto, or Nkunku for him. Try and keep the ball a bit better, because it keeps coming back, as you say, little niggly fouls because we're giving the ball away, basically. And yeah, you probably trust Gusto, hopefully. Here we go. I'm going to regret saying that, aren't I? You trust Gusto to be sensible, but we need to keep the ball better because we are all over the place at the back. Also, I thought it was meant to be boring under Maresca. That's what we were told by Leicester fans. Not at Chelsea. To be fair, it's been a brilliant game. I mean, you can't really enjoy them when you're watching it and you actually support the team, can you, when it's like a 2-2 and you've been ahead twice. But as a spectacle, it's been a really, really good game. You just hope that we come out the right end of the result.
Completely pulsating first half. I thought Chelsea looked really good going forward. Wolves looked even better, if I'm honest. They look well up for it. Those, like you said, those Madueke comments before the game have not helped, I don't think, but there we go. Palmer's been quiet. His goal was fantastic, but we need to get him more involved. Generally, on the right-hand side, Madueke has been outstanding. He's given Doherty and everybody else on that left-hand side a complete run round for Wolves, so we need to keep getting the ball out to him. Mudryk just probably needs to go off. I hate saying it. I don't want to keep being negative on the guy, but he's just not being impactful. He's had one or two little runs, but never quite makes that right decision. I think we need to see someone better now on that left-hand side, because it's becoming a little bit of a joke. And just the midfield's been overrun. We're not keeping it as well. We did a little spell between maybe half an hour and 40 minutes where we kind of kept the ball better, but it's still coming back too fast, and the defence isn't up to it at the moment. They're just not good enough as a unit. They're still learning together. But these are the games that will make and break you. If they can come away from Wolves here with a victory, where they've not been brilliant at the back, it will give them some real kind of confidence and belief in themselves. So this is a big second half for Chelsea. There are chances galore at both ends of the field. So fingers crossed we can come away with 3 points here.
We called it. Neto on for Mudryk at half-time. I'm glad he's done it so quickly. No mucking around.
To be honest, mate, that is a bit of a hammer blow for Mudryk, because usually in these situations, the manager will say, go on, have 5 more minutes. Go and earn the right to play a little bit. Go and prove me wrong. But to be hooked at half-time is quite, well, not embarrassing, but it's a little bit kind of a kick in the nuts for him. So, yeah, here comes Neto. Come on.
Madueke, Chelsea looking for another early goal in this half, and they've got it.
Absolutely fantastic. Get in. That is what Mudryk isn't. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, Mudryk will get there, he'll fanny around with it, do all sorts of nonsense, go backwards. Noni picks the ball up, he drives his defender, takes his shot away, so you say, so direct. And yeah, takes a little deflection and goes in. But if you don't have a shot, you're never going to score. And, oh God, if we loan this guy out to Newcastle at the end of the window, I will be absolutely gobsmacked. He looked brilliant today. He could have buckled under the pressure of all the booing and all the hissing he's had all afternoon. But no, comes on, couple of minutes into the second half, absolutely bangs it in. So fantastic. Come on, Chelsea.
Wouldn't it be lovely to get another goal and actually be able to enjoy the game? It happened so rarely last season where you could relax and enjoy a Chelsea game knowing that we might, a good chance of winning it. Just please get another goal.
To his right, and Palmer slips him in. Madueke again! He's been brilliant for Chelsea today.
What a finish again. Love it. That is actually why Palmer's so good in that central role, because he's got options either side. And he slipped Madueke in twice. And that's what I love about Madueke. He doesn't mind hitting it on his right. We saw it midweek. What a great finish.
What a goal again. I tell you, Palmer and Noddy, this right-hand side, are killing Wolves. Absolutely killing them. So easy. So easy. Fantastic. Get in, boys. Oh, we might better enjoy this second half now, mate. Not if they get a third.
Palmer, will it be a hat-trick of assists? Will it be a hat-trick from Madueke? It will be! The wonder of Madueke. Wolves' worst enemy in more ways than one.
Get in. Palmer to Noni, goal. Well, I think you can safely say that Noni's not going anywhere this transfer window. He has been frightening in front of goal today. Palmer looked silky and class, just caressing another one in for him. Oh, Chelsea, it could go right here. If they really want to, they're carving Wolves apart time and time again. So really want Felix to bang one in as well. Really want him to score just to kind of put the cherry on the cake.
Still in the thunder a little bit from Di on our WhatsApp group, so shout out to Di here. But whatever Maresca said at half time was obviously very, very good and very different to Pochettino last year, because the amount of times we came out and were really poor second half last season, it was a bit of a running joke, wasn't it? So credit to Maresca. He's obviously really got into them and been very, very different second half. And it's been, yeah, really comfortable.
So Fernandez, Dewsbury Hall finds Palmer. Palmer finds Neto. And Neto, he pulls it back. Felix! Back at Chelsea. Back on a score sheet for Chelsea.
Oh, wow. Chose a good time to go for a wee, didn't I? What a goal. That you heard the commentary, just heard Felix shouted from a distance and then ran back in and was like, what a finish. Well, you called it. You said you wanted him to get one. And great moment for Neto as well, to be fair. What a second half.
I love Neto, gives absolutely zero fucks with that. He's like, just signed for Chelsea, 2 games into the season, I'm going to create one and I'm going to celebrate it like mad. Absolutely love that. What a finish from Felix too. You know, all the haters. Jeez, man. This team is purring going forward. A little bit sketchy at the back, but they get 6 every week, they'll be doing okay.
Well, the whistle's about to blow, but I thought we'd get my post-match in early for once, because we can have a comfortable victory. It's been a long, long time since we had this feeling. And yeah, I mean, first reactions are a bit of a statement win, I think, which I think as a fan base and as a club we needed. The final whistle's just gone. It felt like we needed that. And I know it's silly, it's the second game of the season, but we are the biggest story in football right now in the world, let's be honest. You know, you've got Bayern Munich manager talking about us this week, and every club seems to be interested in what we're doing. And I think we needed to start putting a run together, and I hope this is the start of it. What a second half display. I mean, I'd love to get your thoughts on more of from a tactical point of view and defensive point of view, what we did at half time that was different. But attacking, to be fair, throughout the game, I thought we looked brilliant. A huge shout. I'm just going to shout out Madueke. I know we've talked about him a lot already, but what I love about him is that he obviously did his silly little social media message the night before, and it really wound, you know, you could see it wound the Wolves fans up. I think it got the players up as well, you know, by proxy. But what I love about him is that you could tell it wasn't going to affect him. You kind of felt that actually would probably spur him on. And right, you know, from the minute in, he wins the corner with a good shot that we end up scoring from. And he just never, he didn't get a huge amount of the ball first half, to be fair, but he's one of those players that I think he's a bit of a throwback to Chelsea of old, where he's got a bit of swagger, a bit of attitude, and isn't going to be affected. And I'm really pleased for him. And, you know, I hope this puts to bed any story of what we've been saying about him going anywhere. I mean, what a start to the season he's had. To be fair, not a massive surprise. He was great in pre-season as well. And yeah, if Chelsea are looking to do anything, Madueke needs to be nowhere near it in terms of like reducing squad size, because he's got something very different, I think, to the other wingers actually in the team. But yeah, we've got to enjoy moments like this, haven't we? I'm just watching it now. The players all in front of the away fans. Feels like a big win for some of these new players as well. Brilliant for Neto and João Felix to combine on that goal at the end. And do you know what?
We've had a lot of shit thrown at us as Chelsea fans from everywhere in recent weeks. And I'm just going to enjoy this one. I'm going to go and crack open a beer now and love that win because we played bloody well. Well done, boys.
So, yes, the final whistle has just gone. What a game. I mean, I'll be honest, as I said at half-time, I stand by it. Wolves were probably the better team in terms of chances created, but Chelsea looked so dangerous. You felt as though if we could get it right and find that correct pass, we would tear them apart. And that's what happened. I think these games are always so on a knife edge, aren't they? When if they somehow got the third goal at the very beginning, would we have then kind of gone into our shell? I don't know. But I think there just seems to be what I was hoping to see is a real swagger. You look at Neto, and when Felix comes on, they play with such beauty. What I want to see is in the games where it's tight and it's 0-0 and there's like 10 minutes to go, that's when you want to see these players keep going and keep going. And it's always easy. When you're winning 4-2, 5-2, it's great to play in those games because you can come on and do whatever you like. The other team are kind of pressing to get another goal and you cut teams apart. But what Chelsea did today cannot be understated. That was a fantastic performance from start to finish. Obviously, very shaky in the first half, and whatever Maresca said to them at half-time really, really did kind of ring true because they came out with full of ambition, full of kind of gusto, and obviously getting that third goal 2 minutes into the second half was just what we needed, and it kind of just greased the wheels for obviously Noni to get his hat-trick. Palmer, like we said, playing in that role, he's just a gem, isn't he? He can go either side, he can go left, he can go right, and that's what's scary for the defenders. They don't know what he's going to do. And if you can add dare I say, a number 9 to this team, if you've got players like Palmer, Felix and Nkunku feeding a number 9 here, that's going to be scary for opposition. So where I'm a little concerned, yes, of course, is at the back, but credit where it's due. I thought all the back four, kind of including Sanchez in that a little bit. I thought he was a little bit iffy for the third goal that got disallowed for Wolves, but the back four was very calm. They seemed a lot more under control, which gave us a springboard to go forward in midfield, to break the lines and then get the ball out to our dangerous players to create those goals. So I think it just stems from the back four. If they play like they did in the first half, it's going to be really difficult for us to keep the ball and actually get our dangerous players in the right areas. So if Fofana and Cole, Gusto, Cucurella, whatever it might be, if it's Reece James or when he comes back, if they can keep solid, keep nice and tight, keep under control, Chelsea will find goals. There's goals in this team all over the place. Definitely a little mention to Vega when he came on for Cucurella. He looks an absolute great signing. He looks big, strong, skillful. Looks like he can handle himself in the Premier League, so pleased with him. I would say I thought Caicedo and Enzo were the big talking point. Obviously, Palmer and Noni, rightly so, are going to get their plaudits, but I thought actually Chelsea won the midfield battle second half. And when you do that, I've said it in pre-season, once you win the midfield, you can then kind of go on and dominate these games like we did second half. And I thought Enzo, that's probably one of his best halves of football for the club. Tiny little couple of errors here and there, but little things. When you're running around and on the board, much as they are, you are going to make mistakes. But them two as a partnership second half were fantastic, and I think they deserve a lot of credit. I feel as though players shouldn't be told to go over to the supporters at the end of a game, win, lose or draw. I think it should be a natural reaction, but the fact that Maresca's got them doing that will bring the fan base closer to us and the players. So I'm over the moon with that. So pleased with the team, and like you, mate, I'm going to go and have a nice beer. Fantastic. Well done, Chelsea.
Well, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? I think like most Chelsea fans, I've woken up this morning with a massive spring in my step, a smile on my face, and God, it's nice to have that feeling again, isn't it? I mean, Chelsea has come under fire from everywhere in the last couple of months, and Chelsea fans have sort of felt the brunt of that, really. So this is a moment to really enjoy. And let's be honest, it's what being a football fan's all about. You've got to make sure when you win a game 6-2, the second half of which was 4-0, you take the moment to take it in and appreciate it. So I'm certainly doing that today. And in way of reflecting on yesterday's game, we're going to hear from 3 people, actually. So Joe's going to do his reflection on the game. But before that, you're going to hear 2 different voices. You're going to hear the Wolves perspective from journalist and big Wolves fan Steve Marshall, and his view from the opposition But first up, I'm going to hand over to Keith Wilson. Keith is a massive Chelsea fan based out of the US, and we actually met in 2019 in a bar opposite Stamford Bridge, late at night, to be honest, just a week or two before Christmas, celebrating a 2-1 win over Aston Villa with Frank Lampard was the manager. And yeah, Keith and I have kept in touch ever since through the wonder of a Chelsea group on WhatsApp, and I wanted to get Keith's perspective on the game yesterday. So over to you, Keith.
Sheeny, what a match. What a match this was. I don't think we supporters have really doubted the talent in this squad, but I do feel like we really saw them grow up before our very eyes today. When we went up early with Nico's header, I may have felt more anxiety than relief, especially given our recent track record against Wolves, and as they equalized, after what appeared to be a comical foul in the build-up, that somehow didn't warrant a VAR check, I knew my lack of optimism had been warranted. We went up again, and again it seemed inevitable that Wolves would equalize. In moments like this in the last couple of years, I feel like we've been subject over and over and over again to watching the team just implode. But not today, said Donnie. No, not today. That second half felt like everything I've been waiting to see from Chelsea for I don't know how long. The pressing seemed orchestrated. Cole Palmer was doing his typical Cole things. Nani putting in a second half shift that oozed with swagger and self-belief. And let us not forget that this second half hat trick, that was after his pre-match antics, highlighting his unfiltered opinion on social media. This is a storybook. Joao comes on at the end just to score a nonchalant goal of goals. What more can I ask for? Is this Felix 2.0? Is this what I should expect? Because if it is, sign me up. There's a multitude of moments in there that I feel like I could probably sit and talk about for minutes and minutes and minutes that no one would really care to listen to. But I think really at a high level, what impressed me the most was the simple fact that when the Blues went up in the second half, they didn't take their foot off. They just kept on pushing. They never looked satisfied with this result. They never looked ready to rest on their laurels like we've kind of become accustomed to over the last few years, especially in the post-Abramovich era. This team looked motivated. They looked organized. They looked like a team that's, I don't know, like feeding off of the week in, week out dissection of every mistake that every pundit decides to harp on and joke about publicly, shaming them about how they're not good enough to be on this team. And I think we're kind of starting to see that they are. I mean, that's what excites me. This squad's good, and they're bursting with talent. I think a long time from now, we're probably going to look back and say that this team was incredibly underrated. I genuinely believe they have a bright future at Chelsea. I really can't wait to see that journey with them together. And before I sign off, man, I got to say, when I met you 5 years ago, I was in a world of hurt. I just lost my father unexpectedly. And when I told you that he was the person I talked to most about Chelsea, day in, day out, you immediately offered to add me to your Chelsea group chat. Because, as you put it, I need somebody to talk about all things Chelsea with. And you've given me exactly that. In a period when I was literally experiencing immense grief, you showed me immense kindness. And I'll never be able to repay that, but I just wanted to say thank you. It makes me feel like that's sort of what being a supporter is all about. It's about meeting perfect strangers at a pub that you treat as family because you both care deeply about something. And I hope you know how much joy it brings me to wake up every single day to dozens of messages from people who've never met me in person, but still treat me as one of their own. It really feels like it's a family, like Chelsea's a family. And I really appreciate it, man. Cheers, brother.
Hello, I'm Steve Marshall, and here's some thoughts on Chelsea's 6-2 win at Wolves on Sunday from a Wolves supporter's perspective. It turned out to be a comprehensive and convincing win for Chelsea at Molineux, and some might say some retribution for the 4-2 defeat they suffered at Stamford Bridge in February when Matheus Cunha scored a hat-trick. And certainly the star of the show were undoubtedly Noni Madueke and Cole Palmer for Madueke's second half hat-trick and Palmer's hat-trick of assists in helping get the 3 goals. It certainly silenced the home crowd as well, who had been on Madueke's back all afternoon following his probably ill-advised social media post before the game about Wolverhampton and what he thought of it. And in the end, Chelsea was certainly good value for the win. That second half display was utterly ruthless. And it looked like at times that Chelsea would cut Wolves apart every time they attacked in the second half. They got a grip of midfield after the break, picked up second ball, broke really quickly. Pedro Neto clearly helping with that, and ruthlessly exposed that left-hand side of Wolves' defence, with Ryan Nouri caught out of position several times, and Toti Gomez struggling in 2-on-1s and 3 replica goals. That said, it wasn't all negative for Wolves. I thought Wolves played well in the first half, deserved to go in at least 2-2. We'll be disappointed with both the goals they'd conceded in that first half. And another day could have actually had some more goals themselves, with Yerson Mosquera heading narrowly wide in the first half, Mateus Cunha having another effort deflected onto the crossbar, and a couple of other chances late on. But by then the game was absolutely done, and Chelsea were well worthy of their 3 points. What I would say is that I think there were probably some signs there that Chelsea still need to tighten up defensively because of the chances that Wolves were able to make. But with that cutting edge in attack, with Madueke in that kind of form, and Cole Palmer looking back to his imperious best from last season, and be able to ring the changes with bringing João Felix and Christopher Nkunku on, then it promises to be a strong season for Chelsea this year. It'll take some time to bed in because the sheer number of players they have within that squad, and that clearly needs to be worked out for them this week. But on the whole, they'll be very pleased to get 3 points from a ground that has not been a happy hunting ground for them in recent years.
So it's early on this bank holiday Monday morning. The sun is out and I'm feeling pretty good about yesterday, I'll be honest. I'm just really happy to actually sit here after a game, and the things that I'd wanted to see from this Chelsea team came through yesterday. I think there's still those little niggles and concerns slightly in the defence, but I think I said this in my half-time note yesterday, if they can build upon these results, this is what will turn them from good individuals into a team. And I think that's the biggest takeaway I'm using from yesterday, is that Maresca will turn this Chelsea team into a team. And you could see the big difference just on yesterday's performance alone. Okay, when you win 6-2, it's easy to come to the fans and say, thanks for your support, because you're going to get nothing but cheers and, you know, fist pumps and all the rest of it, and your name's sung. But the key difference is that I think this will happen win, lose or draw, particularly in away games. And we said it a few times in pre-season, it really does make a difference to the people that go and follow you, because they're spending their money, they're spending their time, and it doesn't take a lot just to go over and say, well, sorry guys, didn't do well this week. Or on the flip side, like yesterday, guys, thanks for your support, but here's 6 goals for you too. So I think it's a really important message that Maresca will send to this team. And if anyone remembers when Jose Mourinho sent his Chelsea team to the away end, we drew with Arsenal at the Emirates in 2007, and he told all the fans to keep your chin up. You know, that year we finished second. I know it's a bit different. This is the second game of the season, but you have to start somewhere. And the fans kind of rewarded that in kind by, again, saying to the team, it's fine, it's all right, don't worry boys, you've given your all. They then went and played the FA Cup final and won that a week or so later. So these are the things that, if anyone doesn't believe that you need to have in a football club, you're so massively mistaken. It's the big part of football. And then there was the game itself. I mean, I haven't watched a game of football for a long time, particularly in the second half, where I've just felt so enamoured with the team. They were just beautiful to watch. Every time we went forward, I mean every single time we went forward, I thought we're going to score. And it really made me think, wow, this team could really do something. They are special talents. You know, that if they work on the defence, if they can keep the defence tight, it just enables all the forwards to go and do their thing. And Maresca's already said this. Chelsea will concede goals. He doesn't like conceding goals, but he's kind of okay with the conceding goals because I think he thinks we can go the other end and score 3, 4, 5 goals ourselves. So it's going to be an exciting season, I think. I don't believe, I sit here now and say we're not going to see many clean sheets. I mean, I love seeing clean sheets. Obviously, it's my favourite thing in football. You can win any game if you don't concede. But I believe we are on that road of exciting, expansive football, and this kind of boring tag that Maresca came with from Leicester, I mean, that's already been sort of thrown out the window completely, isn't it? And nothing epitomised Chelsea's performance yesterday than mercurial Cole Palmer. And what I love and what I'm going to enjoy so much watching this year is the little details. So for the 6th goal against Wolves yesterday, the Felix goal, what I loved was how Chelsea set up. So Sanchez has the ball at his feet. He's in goal. Cole Palmer drags out the centre half into midfield. Dewsbury Hall on for Caicedo. He then makes a run from the left-hand side, left-hand channel. He sprints towards the centre-forward spot, literally sprints. The centre-back then has to drop back because he's not sure whether to go with Cole Palmer or check the run of Dewsbury Hall. So obviously he has to go with Dewsbury Hall because he can't leave a great big hole behind him. That then leaves Cole Palmer in space, 10 yards in front of the halfway line. 2 passes later on the left-hand side, the ball's into Palmer's feet in loads of space. He then plays the ball in for Neto to Felix, goal. And I think these are the small details that Maresca has been working on all pre-season long. And he's the one been saying, don't worry about it, we're going to get this right. And this is what the players have been working on all summer long. And just lastly, another little key detail, and I love the little details, is in the first half you noticed Jackson misplacing his pass into Gusto when Gusto had gone into that hybrid midfield role, costing Gusto a yellow card because he had to track back and make that tackle. You saw Jackson run 50 yards to say to Gusto, I'm sorry, that's on me, because the system is, if Jackson holds that ball up properly and gives it to Gusto's feet, we then had the extra player in midfield, which counted for Lavia not being in the team yesterday. So again, these are the very small key details. So I'm going to enjoy this victory this week and look forward to Servette on Thursday.
Hey, it's Chris here with a really quick message. Check us out on Instagram at 1905podcast. You'll find video clips, photos, and much more about everything we discuss on the show. Plus, it's a great way to get in touch to tell us your thoughts, share your feedback, or just say hi. Follow us on Instagram at 1905podcast. And now, back to the show.
So we travel to Servette on Thursday for our second leg Europa Conference League qualifier. There's a mouthful for you. I expect to see plenty of changes. I think that's obvious. There'll be at least 8 or 9, 10 changes possibly even. And I'm just hoping that some of this flair and fluency will rub off. I think you're probably going to see Felix. You may even see Nkunku. I think Palmer will definitely be rested because he got a slight hamstring injury in the last game, but we don't need to risk him. And to be honest, we should have enough for Servette. I think the key thing here is if they concede an early goal or two, Chelsea that is, we may find ourselves in a real game. So I think it's very important to keep a solid back line as best as possible and not create or gift Servette too many golden opportunities. If we can go and get that first goal, maybe even that second goal, to try and kill the game early doors, and that'll be superb. So I expect to see the likes of Tosin and Badish will come back in again, and Dewsbury Hall will start, and it'll be quite a fun, exciting European team, I think, actually. I'm looking forward to seeing Jorgensen play again. I think he was excellent midweek. And I fully expect to see maybe Enzo and Dewsbury Hall playing midfield, because I think Lavia might be rested to keep his hamstring injury down, and Caicedo went off with a slight injury yesterday, so I expect to see him not play. But I think we're going to see Vega. I think it's going to be a very good team. The players that came on yesterday really excited me, so I'm actually looking forward to the game. I know it's a silly thing, but I'm looking forward to seeing Chelsea play again, and I think this is what I've been missing so much. Even last year under Poch, I wasn't that excited to see them at times, but this does feel quite different. And when you win 6-2, it does give you that kind of, excitement. But I don't see why Chelsea can't go and get 2, 3, 4 goals against Servette on Thursday, because they're very capable of doing that. And let's just hope some of that flair rubs off onto the European Cup team. And if it means we put out Nkunku, Neto and Felix for this game, which is quite possible because none of them played many minutes yesterday, they're all going to get the chance to learn together on the job in a proper competitive match, which is exactly what we want to see. And then they can take that form, hopefully, into Saturday's game against Crystal Palace, because we've then got a fresh Cole Palmer, a fresh Madueke, and yeah, that can't be bad for anyone, can it? So yeah, really exciting time for Chelsea at the moment, and let's just make sure we can keep that defence tight and get the forwards purring.
Servette on Thursday, I am, as you say, Joe, really looking forward to it. I think that feeling is back of looking forward to Chelsea games again. I mean, winning 6-2 will do that to anyone, won't it? But I think what's fun about it is I'd expect probably a lot of changes again. Looking at 8 or 9, I would have thought changes in the lineup, which is, with our squad size, let's be honest, a big advantage actually being in the Conference League, because I think we'll probably do that throughout most of that campaign. Means we can keep giving lots of players minutes. I think the whole defence will pretty much get changed again, like they did last week. It makes sense to do that, particularly as Reece is out. You don't want to be stretching Gusto too much. So I would have thought that will happen. Jorgensen will come in, of course. And what's probably the reason to be most excited about is the fact that, like you say, that front line is likely to get changed up, and we'll probably see our new Netflix, Neto and Felix, Portuguese duo playing together. And you'd have thought Nkunku will come in, and maybe Mark Gui will get another chance to get that goal. He'll be desperate, won't he, after last week? So, yeah, it's one to look forward to. You just need to make sure you manage the game sensibly, don't we? Don't concede an early goal. Don't let the crowd get up and stuff like that. If you can get that first goal in the game in the first half or something, it kind of puts the tie to bed, which is going to be, obviously, means that we can relax. But I think it's actually, I think the competition will grow on us, really. But I think for us right now, for that squad as well, it's just good to have lots of games. Good for Maresca actually to be able to keep working on the patterns of play, which we saw to great effect in that second half against Wolves. And yeah, hopefully get through to the competition proper. And for those who don't know, the competition itself has got this new format which all of the European competitions have got, which is the Swiss model, it's called, where you basically get drawn against 6. You're all in one league, sort of a 32-team league, and then you get drawn against 6 or 8 teams in that league, where you play them like 3 at home, 3 away. So completely different format. It'll be quite interesting. A bit of a change-up, but it should mean that each games are meant to have a little bit more in them by that format, so you don't have kind of dead rubber games at the end of the group stage and that kind of stuff. So that'd be interesting. We obviously want to make sure we're in that. And on Thursday, it's just about keeping the momentum up, isn't it? Keep the winning run going, make it 3 in a row. Going into that Palace game, be nice to get a clean sheet, kind of look a bit more solid at the back as well, and yeah, keep the good times under Maresca going. Let's keep that momentum up and keep silencing a few critics out there. But we'll be back on Friday to reflect on that game and talk about the big game against Palace on Saturday. We'll see you then. Those were the Chelsea notes for this week. If you enjoyed the podcast, do us a favour and share it with a fellow Blue. And we'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave us a review wherever you're listening. Wherever you may be, stay carefree, and remember, every little thing's gonna be alright.